bouncing titties. We love a bouncing titty. We fucking love titties. Yeah, fucking titties. Jumping fucking titties. Come on, fucking titties. Let's fucking bounce some titties. Let's go. Hello everybody, it's time to go to the titty bouncing podcast. See, because this is a lady. As always, I don't know how clear my drawings are to anyone but myself. This is a lady. Big happy smiley lady. And these are her titties bouncing. Yeah, you can see that, can't you? It's not... I don't need to explain the fucking plainest, most obvious shit. Cool, Ewan, this vibe seems a bit different to usual. What the fuck is up? Is that a handheld camera? The lighting seems odd. You're talking very quiet. What the fuck is up, Ewan? Shit's weird. I'm in a weird place. A weird, strange place. Get ready, you're not going to believe it, or maybe you will. I'm in a care facility for suicidal people, yeah. Which I actually am. Coming to you live from inside the care facility for the suicidal. Pew, 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 pew. So that's why my voice is low, because it's after midnight and there are other people here. It's basically like a house, but like it's converted into, a place for people to stay to deal with certain issues they're having. So there are other people staying here. And so I don't want to be my usual rambunctious self, heaping, yelping and hollering. I have to at least try and show some respect for those around me. You know how in like recent podcast episodes I've been talking about how like, oh, I'm not doing good, my mental health isn't doing too good, and but I'm keeping on and now I'm in a care facility for suicidal people, yeah. So that's fun, that's something new and interesting. And of course, my primary thought while I'm here is how can I turn this into content for my online audience? So obviously I'm holding my phone, so it's going to be doing this a lot, because I didn't really think to bring my tripod with me. Although that would be funny. Oh no, I've got to get into this place to deal with, certain issues with regards to suicide and such. Let me grab my tripod, my light, my microphone, my whole setup, so I can get as much content out of it as possible. Which is, it's even, while I'm here, we hear the guests in this place. We'll talk to people and share our thoughts and whatever else. And it has come up quite a lot with regards to like how I view myself through my artwork, and how I feel that often, I don't feel I'm expressing myself as much as I might want to through my artwork, because it's often geared towards, the social media factory, or just, my followers, my adoring fans. And so maybe I don't get so much time to really draw for myself, or even if I do draw for myself, it's almost always with the purpose of showing it to someone somewhere, either printing it or putting it online or whatever. And so we were given these journals, to write our thoughts and feelings in and stuff. And of course I haven't been writing in mine because I'm not a fucking nerd. What, am I going to write some fucking essays or something? Fuck you, piece of shit, make me do some fucking homework. Hey, come to our care facility for suicidal people and do some fucking homework assignments, you piece of shit. Yeah, I might not, thanks though. So mine's just full of drawings, obviously. My journal is full of drawings. And I've tried to keep them very, like personal drawings about how I'm feeling at the moment, and thoughts with regards to myself and those around me and such. And so there are drawings there that I won't show anybody. Well, that's the plan, which is a very odd feeling for me. Because drawing used to be like that, like way, way, way back in the day, back when I was like at school. I'd fill sketchbook after sketchbook with drawing that never really gets shown to anyone because it's just my little like sanctuary space. But then after a certain point, it becomes this sort of need for gratification. So I show as much art as possible to as many people as possible. Not just online, but, in IRL, as they say. And so it's sort of maybe kind of refreshing, but also a little bit weird to produce artwork as a journal that no one will be shown, that just exists within the confines of where it's drawn, with no intention of showing it anywhere else. Although there is one drawing the drawing itself isn't funny, but I do think I want to show it just because the reason it's funny is funny. Wait, let me, oh shit, oh fuck. Flip through my journal and find oh, there it is. It's this. So this is like the drawing of the room I sit in when I talk to people. I'm sat on a couch here, and this is the chair, like the counsellor or whoever sits in. And they hadn't said, no one had said, how does that make you feel? But that's like the cliche, like stereotypical thing for a psychiatrist to say, like, how does that make you feel? And it's like the most like sort of question. No lie, less than 10 minutes after I drew this, I had a talk with a person in this room, in this chair, and they asked me the question, how does that make you feel? And I've been here a couple of days, and I'll be here a couple of days more. And up until that point, no one had said that, because you speak to several different people, and none of them had said, how does that make you feel? They all, they sort of get you to lead the conversation and talk about what you want to talk about. But then today, this was just today, I drew this while waiting, to be called in to talk. And I put this just to be like funny to myself. How does that make you feel? Just to show that this isn't just a chair, it's like a psychiatry chair. Wow. And then literally like 5 minutes into the conversation, I can't remember what I said. I mean, it's not relevant, and it's not for you. It's not something you need to know. What I talk about in my private therapy sessions. And this is is pretty much what I've been thinking the entire time I've been here. I brought my laptop with me, this boy, which is obviously full, chock full of pornography, downloaded, edited, saved, whatever, which I'm glad about because they don't have Wi-Fi here, which makes sense. You know, part of me thinks like, why live in the Stone Age? We live in the year 2000 and something, like it's 2000, just that word alone means the future. We live in the fucking future. We should have Wi-Fi. But at the same time, it is so you're not just constantly on your phone while you're here. It's so you actually have time to reflect and engage and stuff, which I completely understand and I'm absolutely, on board with. I have used the data on my phone a few times just to, play Wordle. I might be suicidal, but I've still got to keep my Wordle run up, my spree of, 100% success on Wordle. I'm not about to give that up. But yeah, so I've not been, I don't have data on my laptop, so I've just had the porn on there. But that said, I haven't accessed. I've looked through some of it just to look through it, just to reminisce about the good times we've had together, me and all of the porn. But I've not utilised it, masturbatorially or whatever. And I'm trying not to, just for the time I'm here, because I figure, I do enough of that at home. Although funny thing is, while talking about, this was like just as I was getting into the facility, I guess, they spoke about, are there any sort of things that help you feel more at ease or more comfortable? And I really had to think, and I had mentioned, I guess, like the use of pornography does give me a sense of ease and a sense of comfort. Like in general, like, hearing all of the horrible news going on in the world, wars and living costs and whatever else, I can feel just horrific because of all of that. I feel like so, lost and powerless. But then if I start looking at porn is so like almost funny and silly that it completely like makes everything seem fine. Well, not make everything seem fine, but it makes me just sort of ignore all the bad shit, because as long as it's the appropriate type of porn, everyone involved's having a good time. It's all just bodies and sex and liquids and stuff. Like, it's all good and it's fun. And in that way, I do find porn to be sort of relaxing and calming or whatever. And I told them that, and they said, "Oh no, that's a perfectly valid answer. That's completely reasonable." And then a little bit later, while going over sort of the rules of, the facility, the place I'm in, they mentioned, pornography is not to be, shown or used in any of the like public areas, like the kitchen or the garden or whatever. If pornography is going to be accessed, it has to be in the privacy of your own room. And I have my own room, which is, cool. Which I thought that was like completely reasonable. Obviously, of course, I shouldn't access pornography like sat at the kitchen table or something. But I do wonder if that's a rule they say to everybody, or if that's a rule that I got, especially for me, because I'd mentioned porn as like a fucking coping mechanism or whatever. I thought that was quite funny. And so this has been me basically trying to fight off my porn addiction. Just a drooling idiot with this on my brain, just bouncing tits and coming penises and drooling tongues, shaking asses and things. And that's, I'm in a facility for, the suicides. But this is basically where I'm at mentally at the moment. Being that I'm situated as I am, I don't have access to my extensive collection of Hellboy books to look through again and again and again. But I figured while I'm here, I can at least look through my sketchbook. Yay! I don't know, I can't remember how much I've already shown of this current sketchbook I'm working in. But one of my, I think that's the last Flesh Bob sticker I had. So I figured I'd put him on here. Oh, it got on my hands. Just because anus, I was just testing a pen, and of course, anus is the first word that comes to mind. That comes to mind. Skull Lady, you got to start the book off with a banger, haven't you? And that's a pretty banging banger. I'm pretty happy with that one. The skull and the lady with the skull on a post-it note that you could think, oh, I just drew a skull on a post-it note, and then I added to it, which is true, but I drew the skull on the post-it note fully intending to draw the woman around said skull. But regardless, I'm happy with that. I really like that drawing. I think it's good. A friend and some girl. See, because it should be a friend, and then I drew a goblin like mirroring the some bitch in a bikini. We love the bikinis. Can't fucking get enough bikinis. X-Men, Wolverine, Cyclops and Nightcrawler, and that's Rogue of the X-Men. They are the X-Men. I was working on an X-Men commission and it was shit. I think I've probably already explained it. It was shit, so I stopped doing it. And I'm going to start again. And these are just sketches to help me find my way to a better X-Men painting. That's pretty cool. That's from a photo I got sent. And I like this. I like that quite a lot. Stuff, things, gluckins and sligs and skulls and a guy. Fuck knows who that is. I think I was waiting for a delivery and I was sat looking at out my window, just doodling, waiting for the postman to fucking show up. And I drew this. I think I saw a guy who looked kind of like that, and then I drew him. Which just goes to show how fucking bored I obviously was. Mega Man! I am trying not to be too loud and expressive because, as I've said, there are people around and under me and I don't want to fucking irritate them. And I mean, in general, I wouldn't want to irritate people, but especially in the environment I'm currently in, the last thing I want to do is fucking annoy people. The orbs, we love the orbs. You see, I pointed like this because I'm looking at the camera and not at my actual sketchbook, and so I don't know where my hand's going. That was whatever. Legs and heels and butts all in the same picture. Oh my god. Love a good set of legs and some heels. Love a good butt. Did you know I draw quite a lot of butts? that's funny that I said that. I was about to call him Death Dealer then, Death Fist. I quite like this skull. This is one of those, like, just filling in the shape. There was a space here, so I drew a skull to fill it, but I like the shape of the skull. It's almost like a pug skull where they're all horribly misshapen, malformed. That's funny. And this is my idea for the newer X-Men painting. And I think I'll enjoy painting it a bit more than I did the previous one. That's Jubilee, Cyclops, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, and there'll be Gambit and Rogue there. Old, almost Death Fist drawings that, I don't know, I find this to be very ugly as a drawing. I don't know how you feel about it, but I think it's ugly. It's a Gun Viking that I drew in public and regretted after it made a person talk to me. Would you know, part of you, when you do stuff like that in public, part of you wants everyone to look at you and think, wow, how amazing is that? But then when it actually happens, you're just like, awkwardly saying thank you and secretly saying, go away, leave me alone. A very nice enough guy. I actually spoke to him for quite a bit after that. Turns out he likes to draw and he makes his own comics and stuff. So, you know, I mean, that's cool. That's quite a coincidence. My friend Jess, little Jessie Jess, in my chair and upside down in my chair. And then sat in my chair. But I like this a lot. I'm really, really happy with that as a drawing. Or is it one drawing or two? I really like that page. I think that's really, really cool. I like the colours and stuff as well, the red bra and everything. I think that's a good one. Jeffy. And that's Jess's butt. And she's got a butt tattooed on her butt. So she even recommended it, that I draw it, because it's like my butts with stickers of the butts on. It's not a tattoo of her butt, but it's a tattoo of a butt on her butt. So, you know, I can draw that and make that cool. Oh no. I could hear somebody moving around, coming out of their room downstairs. And I was worried that they were going to come and tell me to shut the fuck up. Which I wouldn't blame them for at all. But, you know, I have to be careful, I guess. I don't want to be too loud. This is me when I was drawing Gun Viking in public at the little cafe with food and drink, and my penis out on my sketchbook. As you do when you're in a cafe drawing Gun Vikings. I like the grey in the poncho that I added there. It's all in previous episodes, as obviously. I'm sure you've all seen them all. Come on now. Hellboy page. I like this page. And I like that this is like unfinished as well. I probably won't finish that because I quite like how it looks as it is. And like the mix of Posca pen and ballpoint pen. I like that. I like that spread. I'd spread Hellboy. I'd spread his legs apart and put my tongue in his taint. More death is. I like this spread as well. I like this and I like that. And these, it is like lighting a cigarette with his hood up. Yeah, I'm happy with those drawings. They're good sketchbook drawings. You know, like they're obviously not grand, finished, nice, tidy pieces. But I think they're really cool sketchbook drawings. I like the poncho on that one. I wasn't sure what I was doing with the poncho on this one, but hey, fuck it, you know. Shit's all good, yo. Skateboarding goblin spread. I like this spread too. A cute little goth cat. Skating goblin with his knob. And then I added the green square behind him just because I figured it would give some sort of green balance to the whole page. And I was exactly correct. It does. It's a successfully visually pleasing spread. A really long leg is cool. I hear people again. I hear dead people. I hear people that wish they were dead. See, because I'm in a place for suicidal people. I guess someone was just going to the toilet, and what I heard just now was them coming back from having gone to the toilet. Oh, little baby, and then he's like mean. I really should research what these sorts of guns actually look like, because that's just a fucking tissue box or something. Fuck knows what that is. I don't know why I had the idea to draw this cute little baby and then the same baby but just mean and a bastard with a gun. But I like it. It could be a character for something. I don't know. Not everything has to be something, Ewan. That's something I've been talking about with the people here as well. How, with my art, all the art I do is like for an audience. And so I rarely do art for myself. Did I talk about that before when I was talking about my journal? I might be repeating myself. If I'm repeating myself, fuck you, I don't care. There's the goblin with a bouncy head. See, his head's not attached. So when he runs, it like bounces up and down. And then he goes down and it hits his body and he jumps up again and it goes pew and it flies away. I had some leftover paint, so I did this. Hey, handsome. And then I was trying to draw a skull, but like with a face like this, and it looks shit. And it doesn't really work with the jawbone fitting into that shape of mouth. I mean, maybe it does, but not really. I mean, that's a page, I guess. And then where we're at now, some more skate blins, boards and whatever, gun. And this but flesh bob / murder. See, I'm going to do this, and it's like me, and my head's full of tits and asses and penises and shit and nipples. And then I'm going to do a version of Flesh Bob, but it's all like, like the same things, but dead, like chopped up bodies and severed tits and penises or something like that, where he likes murder as opposed to bouncing lovely breasts. So it's a whole other day since the last bit I recorded. I mean, it's almost a little bit weird that I'm even recording podcast material while I'm here. I was thinking it would be, I know I said about, bringing the light and the tripod and whatever else, but if I did come to this place picturing the entire experience as, potential content for podcast or whatever else, which, obviously I'm trying not to do, but I don't know, maybe it is almost important to document at least some aspect of me being here. I assume people sort of want to know kind of what I'm doing in life in general. Like when I talk about how I am and what I've got going on, people seem interested. So maybe there is some level where me talking about where I am and what I'm doing here could be beneficial to people. So it seemed at least somewhat appropriate to have some kind of thing, some kind of record of me being here. And obviously it's not like I'm monetizing it, like I don't make money off my podcasts or anything. So that I think that's where like the line would be drawn. If I was like some big YouTuber who made money off of my podcast videos and things, and then I go to a fucking suicide prevention sanctuary and turn the whole thing into a video that I get paid thousands of pounds for. That would be a little bit much, I think. But as it stands, it's just little old me sitting here in a strange place with strange people, drawing tits and bums. And obviously I've worked on this a little bit since the last time you saw it. Got the tan line ass in there. I really like the bouncy chick. I might have to draw more things like that. And you know, you can see it's not big. It's a very small drawing, so it might be cool to take this and like, yeah, do sort of more large scale drawings of that variety. That could be quite cool. And so I appreciate that this might be a bit of an odd episode of the podcast. If you're seeing it, it obviously means I did decide to upload it. There is still part of me thinking, you know, I might get home, edit it together, maybe watch a minute or two of it and be like, nah, and then really quickly just throw together another episode. Maybe I'll have time to do it by Friday if that's the case. But obviously if you're watching this now, then it means I did just say fuck it and upload it because it's easier to just do that. So yeah, I appreciate that it's a bit of an odd one. Maybe it's not as wild and fun and entertaining as they usually are, as I clearly usually am all of the time. But I hope you can appreciate, you know, where I am and what I'm doing, you know, trying to get help and whatnot. It has been a difficult time. There's been, you know, the people here, the people I talk to and stuff are really, really nice. So I was going to say I've really enjoyed talking to them about how much I want to die. No, not enjoy, but I'm glad that I've been able to, you know, be here and sort of be taken care of, and it does certainly lift a weight off. Like there's, you know, I don't have to worry about things for a while. I'm still worried. I'm, you know, certain I'll get home and see that for whatever reason my flat is burned down or up or whatever, which I'm sure won't happen, but for the most part there is sort of, you know, the worries of everyday life are lifted for at least a little bit while I'm here. So that's something, isn't it? That's a benefit. I mean, I'm still aware that the worries of everyday life are waiting for me as soon as I leave. As I'm recording this, I leave tomorrow as well, so I'm a little bit anxious about that. And like any place you go to for any sort of, I think sort of 3 days is about how long it takes to get used to your surroundings. Because I was sat in the kitchen here the other day, really feeling like comfortable in this kitchen. Like, yeah, I know this kitchen. I've been here for days now. Like, this is just whatever. I've had, you know, all my meals in this kitchen for the last few days. It's completely normal to me now. And so now that I'm going to be leaving tomorrow, I'm a little bit like shell-shocked almost of almost not wanting to leave, you know, because I've gotten comfortable here. And now I'm going to have to go back to my life, which is obviously a life I was hoping to escape. So that's a bit of an odd thing to be sort of dealing with. I apologise if like I'm drawing up here and the camera's moving or whatever, but again, I don't have my tripod to keep everything in place. But I do. I have an appointment to get continued care at a different organisation when I leave this place. Not immediately after, but shortly after. So there is, you know, I'm not just going to leave here, go home, and then that's it. There is sort of like further care in place in some way, and I am going to do my best to look into getting further care, because as you know, among the things I've been discussing with people here, there is a general consensus that I require a great deal more help than I was already getting, and even more help than I maybe realised I needed, for various things, to sort of like help me deal with things that happened in the past that are affecting how I act, you know, how I act towards myself, which in general is not great. So yeah, it's been, like I say, a generally accepted thing that, you know, I need to really look into getting some like serious help, which I'm going to do my best to do. But I mean, even you know, being in a place like I am now it's not a comfortable thing to have to be in a place like this. Not that I necessarily have to be, but trying to, you know, make yourself, like if I had someone making appointments for me and they could arrange for me to have further care that I require, then it'd be fine. But knowing that I have to sort of like undertake that myself is a little bit sort of daunting. It can be really hard to like make doctor's appointments or dentist appointments or whatever on the best of days, let alone when it's to do with, you know, mental health and all that shit. But, you know, we hope for the best and see what we can do. And we'll pee on your chest and we'll have a big poo. Oh, that's a funny story about being here. I guess because of nervousness and being unsure of my surroundings, I didn't poop for the first 3 days, I think. And then, you know, after talking to people and feeling more comfortable here, and like I say, feeling, you know, more sure of my surroundings, like in the kitchen and whatever, then eventually I did poop, and it was a good, comfortable, relieving, very relieving poop. So I'm glad for that. And then the next day I pooped a whole bunch of times. I don't know if it was what I ate or whatever, but man. And the food's been good here as well. It's all like home cooked meals. It's all, some of it's vegan, but it's mostly vegetarian, like vegetarian chicken and stuff. But it's, you know, I think I've said before, I'm down with vegan, vegetarian food. Some of it's really, really good. And the food here has been really good. And again, I almost don't want to go back home. You know, they cook for me, they take care of me. And maybe that's something I am missing in my life, is someone to take care of me. But then I do wonder if that's what I want. Because I do very much enjoy being alone, you know, in general. I find it a lot more comfortable to be alone than to be with other people in general. But clearly, I'm not necessarily doing great on my own, and it could be to my benefit to look into having someone to take care of me. Not someone to take care of me, but to sort of widen the scope of people I'm willing to have around me that can, you know, take care of me while I take care of them, or we just hang out and naturally take care of each other. You know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. It's all nonsense, and I don't want any of it. Obviously, I want it all to end. That's why, you know, that's why I'm even fucking here. Christy. But I miss you guys. I hope you're all doing well. I'm sure a lot of you aren't. You know, life's hard all over. It's not an easy thing to be alive. But yeah, I mean, that's why I wanted to at least, like I say, make some kind of, even like a video message, some short document to say, this is where I'm at, but I'm trying to not be at here. You know, I am trying. It's difficult, but oh my god, life's so hard. I spent all day drawing pictures and I'm sad and wee. And believe me, that's also a sort of, you know, an anxiety sort of thought that's come up in conversation here about, you know, I worry that I'm talking about myself all the fucking time and it's so fucking wanky. Just sit and moan about myself the whole time. But, you know, ultimately, like if it's, for instance, my YouTube channel, it's my YouTube channel. Yeah, it is not monetized. I make videos that I want to make. So if they're about me, they're about me. And if people want to watch them, then that's cool. That's up to them. And if they don't, that's cool too. So why shouldn't they all be about me? And maybe that's the whole point. Like, no one else is making content about me, so maybe I should. I don't know. Lots of thinking being done here. That's primarily the thing, and you know, trying to sort of patch things together and find connections and potential either solutions or like paths towards a future solution, maybe. Because you know, in a place like this, they're smart enough to know you don't just find a solution. You don't just fix everything in a few days while you're here, but you try to work through things and understand, you know, some of your thoughts and feelings a bit better, and hopefully that can lead you to a place where you're able to begin changing things, because it's a process. Yeah, it doesn't just happen overnight. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I think that'll do for now. Let's, like I say, a nice short one. I think bit of an odd one, but again, I'm sure you can all appreciate the situation and whatnot. I mean, I hope you can even hear and see all this shit, and I hope you're all good. And I'm, you know, I'm all right. I'm here. It's very, very introspective few days, and so again, I'm sure you appreciate I'm not my usual my usual self, but I'm doing all right. He said, lyingly. No, I'm good. But yeah, I appreciate all of you as well. I want to at least make that known that you know, if you're into what I do and you talk to me about it, I really do appreciate that. And you can all suck my penis